While some men may be really successful at charming and seducing women, others are struggling to even say hi. But regardless of their charm and confidence, they can be delivering a whole different story based on the things they do or don't do. That's because women sometimes judge men negatively or lose interest in them all of a sudden when they act in an unattractive or undesirable manner without even realizing it. Men tend to do things unconsciously that women simply don't find appealing, and being aware of the following might be a deal breaker when it comes to successful dating and relationships. You might not even expect this, but there are some traits that women find really unattractive, even if they would never admit this to you. Pay close attention until the end of this video to discover 6 surprising things women find unattractive. Being too hairy. While some hair on your body or face makes you look manly, the reality is that most women don't appreciate men with a lot of hair. So you might want to start considering regular shaving if you haven't already. While back in the days, having a lot of hair was normal and it was even appealing, these days women seem to be more into shaved guys with little to no hair. Many men are convinced that they look good with a big beard, and they also embrace their masculinity this way. Yet many girls find it unappealing and they would rather prefer a freshly shaved face. Some hair on the body is actually manly, and most women don't mind it or even find it appealing, whether it's on the chest or legs. But for example, back hair is unquestionably the worst, and when it's thick and visible from far, it is quite unattractive to women. The bottom line is, if you want to appeal to women, you should keep your body hair short. Not being independent. Mommy's boys appear to be satisfied since they are being looked after by the one who knows them the best, often at the price of other adult responsibilities like independence. Sure, it is wonderful when a man loves and appreciates his mother, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But there should be a level of independence in a man's life, especially if he's not a teenager anymore. It is incredibly unattractive when men are too dependent on their mom and they are not able to do certain things without constant supervision. If she has to be there to control his adult life since he is not able to take responsibility or he's too dependent on her, it might be comforting, but for women it's an instant turn off. A man who is a mommy's boy is usually having a difficult time making his own decisions. He tends to have a hard time moving out and would rather live with his parents instead of getting his life into his hands. Being careless about hygiene. Being hardworking and not being hesitant to do whatever it takes to get the job done is definitely a masculine trait, even if it makes you dirty and sweaty. A man can work hard and be dirty, but he should never forget to maintaining his personal hygiene. Unwashed body, greasy hair, oily skin, unbrushed or unflossed teeth. These things may seem superficial to some men, but in reality, they are an absolute turnoff for every single woman out there. Although it's commonly believed that women are more sensitive to poor hygiene than men are, hygiene involves much more than just taking regular baths. A man cannot bite his nails in front of girls and expect them to find him attractive. This doesn't mean that you have to take showers twice a day and never allow yourself to be a little dirty or sweaty, but you should always prioritize your hygiene and make sure you're clean at the end of the day. Having wrong manners. Well, this should be pretty basic, but some men are simply not able to behave as gentlemen. It starts with simple things like table manners, such as chewing with their mouths open, burping, as well as being rude or screaming with a waiter. This should be self-explanatory, since there are many examples of behaviors that are anything but mature or attractive. In reality, poor manners come off as immature and unpleasant. These traits can reflect on a man's character as a whole, rather than just his behavior. It indicates that he doesn't care about what others think of him, or he doesn't know how to act appropriately, which is an unattractive trait for many women. Women are not going to like a guy who needs to be reminded of basic manners all the time. Being arrogant. Girls appreciate a man who radiates some amount of self-confidence because it is appealing and charismatic. However, a person can become extremely unattractive very quickly if his confidence develops to arrogance and he starts to believe that he is the absolute best and he treats people with disrespect. A girl who goes on a date with a guy who just talks and cares about himself only would undoubtedly give the signal to the girl that this guy is not a good candidate. You can be the most successful, most talented person, but the thing is that one of the least attractive traits is arrogance. And when it comes to guys, women can sense this arrogance right away. Being egotistical. While being ambitious and goal-oriented is definitely a good trait, some guys are only about to see what they want without considering anyone or anything else. Selfishness relates to things inside and outside of a relationship, and a guy who just thinks of himself might come out as immature, egotistical, and shallow. According to numerous studies, women find selfishness to be a big turnoff because the guy seems more focused on his own needs and wants than making sure that his lady is also happy and satisfied. Many people don't know this, but self-obsession can sometimes be understood as a form of insecurity, and women will leave a guy very quickly if he spends more time looking in the mirror at himself than at her. If you enjoyed the video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel.